Hello everybody, my name is Olufalu and welcome to One-on-One with the Humble Prince. This week I'll be talking about rape in Nigeria. And to do that with me today is women rights activist and lawyer, Yvonne Idahosa, the beautiful and smart. I had to add that.
I prefer smart and beautiful.
Smart and beautiful, because I know how you get. Yvonne, thank you. Welcome to One-on-One with the Humble Prince. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So right off the back, rape, and we know I think it's an epidemic in Nigeria, let's be honest. There's a culture of silence that surrounds it. And please, why don't you just give us a little overview about rape in Nigeria?
Nigeria is not just neutral on the issue of rape. We actually
Right.
discourage people from speaking out about it.
It's crazy, yeah.
I mean, as far as statistics are concerned, I mean, supposedly one out of every 20 every 20 women have been raped in Nigeria.
Wow.
But I don't even believe those statistics. I think it's
Could be
much
more.
more underreported because
Right.
of the stigma and shame that's really attached to rape in Nigeria. Here in the US, it's about 1 out of every 3 cases of rape that's reported.
Wow.
Yeah, in Nigeria, you have about 1 out of every 5. 1 out of every 6 women here in the US has been raped, which is a little bit different from the 1 out of 20 in Nigeria. But then when you think about the number of people,
Right.
it makes it. I think it makes a little bit of a difference. Plus, I think in the US, women are a lot more likely to come forward.
Exactly. How do you think rape is defined in Nigeria? Because here in the United States, I think once you say no, that's it.
If you live in the South, Nigeria is guided by the criminal code. In the North, it's the penal code. And then now we have 12 states that practice Sharia law. So that's also very different. But generally, you're supposed to at least have penetration. And in Nigeria, it's actually currently limited to just the vagina. So even if someone forces you to have oral sex or anal sex, for example, that's not currently covered.
Wait.
Unless...
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, we do have the new law that's only applicable in Abuja.
Okay.
The Violence Against Person Prohibition Bill.
Okay.
But it's currently only applicable in Nigeria. But as far as the other states are concerned, they have to make a determination on whether or not they're going to adopt the new law. The new law does expand it to cover more than just women, and it also covers anal and oral. But as far as the law currently stands, it has to be a rape of a woman, so it can't be any other, it can't be men or boys. There has to be penetration of the vagina. Like I said, it can't be anything else. And you also have to prove, you also have to have eyewitness testimony, which is, I mean, most people do not actually rape somebody with a witness present.
Exactly.
And the witness also has to witness the penetration of the vagina. And so you realize that the law, there's so many loopholes that
Right.
make it easy for people not to be convicted of rape in
Right.
Nigeria. And that's why we only have a 5% conviction rate.
I've seen some comedians talk about rape where they laugh about it, where the person goes, like the woman goes to the police station and they say, oh, that's, why were you there? Or, why do you think rape is underreported in Nigeria?
I mean, I think there are many, many different reasons, but again, I think the primary reason is because Nigeria has the stigma. There's a culture of shame that's also
Right.
attached
Right.
to being a rape survivor. So I'll give you a very quick example.
Yes.
One of my programs, I was suggesting that we actually hand out whistles to some of the children so that, God forbid, they were getting raped in their school, they could blow this whistle and it would signal, right, to people that this is what's happening.
That's a good idea.
And everybody on the committee shut it down. And I was like, why? Like, it can, it's worked in Haiti, it worked in, some refugee camps. And they said, because children will not blow the whistle in Nigeria. And I said, but why? I mean, if something, God forbid, were to be happening to me and I knew that this was a way of getting out, this would be the first thing I would reach for.
Right.
And they said it's because people would rather, women and girls would rather live with the fact that they were raped and have to deal with the stigma in society.
Well, so how are we going to fix things then? How are we going to repair things? I mean, how are we going to stop this ugly behavior?
I mean, I think
If the victims don't help us out, I mean...
Well, it's not. I mean, I think there has to be societal change. So it's not.
Okay.
There has to be a reversal, first of all, of the idea that I, as a survivor, am the one who's living with the stigma. But there's so many other reasons as far as why rape is underreported. I mean, you find that a lot of Nigerian police, for example, tend to turn the other way.
Exactly.
Nigerian culture, I think, in general, is also quite complicit. So you'll have an oga or the man of the house rape a house girl, and the wife will turn the other way and not say anything about it. But I mean, I think I think a lot of people tend to feel like there's police inaction and that they're not going to get justice anyway. Because, like I said, if you have a 5% conviction rate, as the survivor, you're the one who's going to be living with the shame and the stigma.
Exactly, but look at the circumstances that surround trying to get a conviction. Though you're saying there has to be an eyewitness, they have to witness the penetration. I mean, other than the gang rape, I mean, where does that happen? I mean, exactly. I'm not going to rape somebody in broad daylight.
Exactly. I mean, I think those are the things that make our law so archaic. And that's why a lot of NGOs are pushing for different states to now adopt the new law. But when you have a standard that is so high, so it's either the eyewitness or you have to have medical evidence. And the chances of a woman or a child going to see a doctor within X amount of time where they can get the DNA, where they can do a rape kit, it's just not going to happen. So when you put women and girls in a position like that, of course you're not going to get the conviction rate.
And that's the thing, because here in the United States, if you go and say you're raped, there's like a rape kit.
Exactly.
They find, they look for semen, they comb through, they look for hairs, stuff like that. So that's evidence right there. And then, you have to deal against he said, she said, whatever. But at least it's a good start. In Nigeria, I don't think we have that.
I mean, you do have some places that are equipped to conduct rape examination.
Right.
But the chances of that actually happening, I think, of the person actually getting to the hospital to get the test done are very, very slim.
If a woman dresses provocatively, do you think she's partially at fault if she's raped? To be honest with you, I can understand men saying yes, but it surprised me that some women actually said yes, it's her fault. What do you think about that?
Yeah, actually, that doesn't surprise me because unfortunately, Nigeria has a way of blaming the victim.
Exactly.
And you have women who will say, when children, and particularly because of the work that we do, when children have gone to tell their moms, the mothers have blamed them for for trying to come on to their husbands or coming on to their uncle because the skirt was too short, and there are girls who have told their parents and have suffered as a result of that. We have a society where that gives room for women to be victimized, and because of that, a lot of women have adopted that as their mentality, as their thinking.
Yeah.
So somehow it must be my fault partially because I did this.
We need to let men know what rape is, basically. And to be honest with you, if a woman says no, that's it.
I always say, no does not mean try harder.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean keep going until I finally give in. Right. So if you've taken me out and I'm now absolutely drunk and you have sex with me, that's not consent. A lot of people don't realize that. And it's the same. That's the same reason exactly why Bill Cosby is in trouble now.
Right.
And if you intentionally, and now it's against the law pursuant to this new act in Nigeria. If you intentionally provide a substance that then puts someone in a state where they cannot give consent, you can actually be in prison for that if you can get a conviction.
Yes, another thing I wanted to touch on was marital rape. I understood here in the United States, I'm not sure, but I read about it. I think it was up until 1975. Like if a husband couldn't be accused of raping his wife, but that law has changed here.
Yes.
But in Nigeria, and we took a survey, and we actually sent out our street team, and the responses were interesting. But some men feel like, she's my wife, I could do whatever. What do you think about that?
Exactly.
We need to change that mindset, though.
Absolutely. Right. And again, except for this new law, which again is only applicable in Abuja, the rest of the penal code, the criminal code, Sharia law actually does not criminalize marital rape. And you have in some studies up to 80% of women that say that they've been physically assaulted by their husbands. And I'm assuming that some of that also includes rape as well. But I think Nigerian society, Nigerian culture sort of cultivates this idea that women are property. First of all, you give a dowry. A dowry,
in
Nigeria, so that suggests ownership,
you can do whatever,
right?
Yeah.
And so and we also create this culture around the idea that, particularly with religion, Christianity, for example, that women should be submissive to their husband,
right? And
that creates this sort of thinking. Where you ask a lot of women, is physical violence against you by your spouse ever justified? And up to 92% of women who live in the south of Nigeria say that there are circumstances where it can be justified.
Again, I understand that we're trying to help out and educate this woman, but they need to help us out as well. So you need to fight back. If you're saying that yes, what he's doing is okay, then why do you think it's going to stop?
Right.
Like I've always said, if a man would, if a woman allows a man to treat her like garbage, he'll continue to do it. I mean, there's so much we could tell the man. Hopefully, they would change that mindset.
Yeah.
But you know, I just want to say that, you know, husband, I think, you know, that also leads to domestic violence, because if a man wants to have sex with his wife, and she says no, the next thing he might do is he might beat her, because he knows that nothing's going to happen.
Exactly.
Okay, so with religion and rape, because we took the survey, and I was surprised that a lot of people came back and said they don't think religion actually plays a role in perpetuating rape. How do you think religion plays a role with regards to rape?
Again, I think a lot of people teach that you should be submissive
Right.
to your husband, and that's, you know, it's also a part of Sharia law as well. Sharia law requires that there be an eyewitness to the rape as well.
That's just
and
crazy.
and you know, so it's not, I mean, it's not just, it's beyond religion too, it's culture. I mean, I think if you have a law, for example, in the penal code, it says that, you know, men are allowed to, you know, to correctively discipline their wives, as long as there's no grievous harm. But who determines exactly what that is, you know?
Talk about child rape in Nigeria and how your organization helps to create awareness to that and bring an end to that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, child rape in Nigeria is the largest category as far as rapes in Nigeria are concerned. Okay. It's 1 out of every 4 girls is a survivor of rape, and 1 out of every 10 boys in general. So our organization basically provides rehabilitation because really only 5% of the children in Nigeria get assistance if they've been victimized. And so we provide free counseling. We also provide free legal assistance in the event that they're actually interested in having the perpetrator prosecuted, and we also provide free medical services to children.
Right, and what's the name of your organization again?
Pathfinders Justice Initiative.
Pathfinders Justice. And how can people get in touch with you if they need help? And please.
Yeah, so if you want to reach us, I mean, please feel free to go to our website, which is pathfindersji.org. You can also find me on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram at Find Your Path. We also have a Facebook page as well. We have a helpline, and you can get that number. Should I say?
Yeah, please.
Oh, if you're in Nigeria, please call 0817-612-3228. So just remember, you're not alone. I mean, you do not have to walk the path by yourself. So we're here to help.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I wanted to say this because a lot of child rapes too occurs, like, you know, with the house boys and the house girls rape the kids in the house, and, you know, especially for young boys. And, you know, I to be honest with you, I don't want to, you know, put too much out there, but I know of instances where house girls play with little boys. Now, because the boys like it and they might even go back for more, but that's still rape.
Absolutely.
Because they're underage. I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm talking about boys like, you know, 8, 11, you know.
Absolutely.
So they need to report it. I mean, you know, boys, you guys might be enjoying it, but it's actually rape, and you need to, you know, speak up on it.
That's actually one of the largest categories of child rape in Nigeria, because people tend to leave their children because they have to work, you know, with the house girl or with, you know, somebody, you know, auntie, uncle, whatever. And we have many cases of children, particularly more so girls, but definitely boys that report this as well. And it absolutely is rape. I mean, if you're under 18 years old and you're being touched or assaulted by your nanny or whatever, it definitely is rape.
Okay, good. One thing I wanted to talk about as well is that when they see people like you and myself, people just think we're just doing this just for the hell of it, or maybe for Facebook likes or comments and everything. But we're actually trying to create awareness and try to see that you know, rape does end in Nigeria, because it's a big problem.
It's a huge, when I say it's a big problem, it's one of the biggest issues that we have. Yeah. Exactly.
So this is just not, you know, this is just not a novelty. We're not just doing this. Honestly, we're actually trying to create awareness, and hopefully we're encouraging everybody to speak up. Please, you know, the only way we can help you guys is if you help us too. You know, don't just keep quiet. Rape is wrong. You know, once you say no, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. So there you have it, guys. Please, let's see how we can work together to bring an end to rape in Nigeria. Let's, you know, work together. Let's create awareness. I'll see you guys next time. And like I always like to say, like the book of Ecclesiastes says, we only have one life to live, so please make the best of it. We're going to be dead longer than we ever lived. See you guys next time.